Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Wheeler, and while my voice might be a little unfamiliar for some, many of you may know me as a former Canadian Highlander council member and coordinator of the Canadian Highlander website, as well as the corresponding YouTube videos, set reviews, deck techs, and all that garbage. And today I'm going to have a little throwback by going over the new upcoming Magic Origins set, the end of the core set, if you will. And I have a special guest today. Please welcome to the stage a Mr. Adam Price. Adam, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing good, Ben. We're doing good.
All right.
This is gonna be sweet.
This is gonna be fun. This is just for a little bit of a shit and giggle, I guess. But we will give our genuine impressions on the set. Take note. I haven't played Highlander for a long time, but I've still played a bit of Magic, and I'd like to think I'm entering this with a bit of an unbiased view, not relating to any particular meta. So there might be a couple of outside opinions, like this card could go in this archetype that doesn't actually exist because it's terrible. And I think Adam certainly is in the category of players with me that appreciates those kind of decks. The kind of
Yeah, I'm just also like in terms of Highlander, I'm not a good Highlander player, so take that with a grain of salt. But we're doing this anyway, and it's going to be amazing.
Okay, so we both got the spoiler in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's start things off. They've got it laid out real nice. We're not going by the color. I'm doing left to right.
Yeah.
So let's start off with Kytheon, hero of Akros, who flips into Gideon Battleforge. So he's one of the 5 planeswalkers of the set. They've done this shtick where these planeswalkers are creatures, and they're really cheap to play, and you have to have some kind of requirement, and then they flip into their lackluster planeswalkers. But this guy, starting off with a fucking bang. This guy is a 1-mana 2/1 soldier, so right off the bat, you'd probably play him in White Weenie, even if it just stopped there.
Oh, mamma mia! It is spicy.
Oh, he's a spicy meatball. At the end of combat, if this dude and at least 2 other creatures attack this combat, you exile him, he transforms. And then he also has pay 2 and 1, he becomes indestructible. So, pretty easy to flip in a creature deck, make him indestructible. And on his flip side, he's a Gideon. He has 3 loyalty, has +2, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon during its controller's next turn. So basically, like the OG Gideon's original +2, but babied. +1, until your next turn, target creature gains indestructible. Untap that creature.
I think that's actually pretty good, especially if you're playing this in White Weenie. You're going to want to have like a White Weenie with indestructible at some point.
Yeah, I get making one of your guys unkillable to just like bash him into combat. It's pretty darn nice. Because like that deck doesn't have many ways of card advantage outside of like Stoneforge Mystic kind of cards or Horizon Canopy. You don't usually want to skull clamp your own. I mean, you'll do what you gotta do, right? But yeah, that's good, and they're both pluses. I mean, that's pretty nice. And his 0. Until EOT, he becomes a 4/4 human soldier that's indestructible and prevent all damage that was dealt to him this turn. So he's basically like a mini version of the OG Gideon, except you slap him in aggro. I really like this card. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's like it is easily the best of the planeswalkers in this set, like so easily. He's a really good 1-drop. You can turn him indestructible, which seems really strong. You only need to put a couple creatures down to flip them, and then you get a 4/4 out of it. And that's just insane. Like an indestructible 4/4.
Honestly, like the only downside is that stupid fucking name, Kytheon, hero of Akros. It just doesn't do it for me. I got bad memories from Theros. I wanna leave that behind.
Oh yeah.
And then leaving this card behind, let's move on to the blue planeswalker. We've got Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. Vryn? I don't follow the lore.
Who's Vryn?
I don't know who Vryn is.
We'll get somebody in the
somebody in the comments will nerd out on me and say, well, actually, it's pronounced so-and-so, and he is Jace's father. And anyways, this guy's a 2-mana 0/2. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. If you have 5 or more cards in your bin, exile him, he flips. Oh, hello, are you still there?
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, cool. Exile him, he flips. And then you get 5 loyalty on Jace, that's pretty big. +1, up to 1 target creature gets -2, -0 until end of turn. -3, you may cast target instant or sorcery from your graveyard this turn. If it would be exiled, so basically you get to recoup 1 spell, which, I mean, that's fine. I don't know how to feel about this. Or no, we've had a discussion about this card. Let me finish this shtick though.
Yeah.
And then is -9. You get an emblem whenever you cast a spell. An opponent mills top 5 cards of their deck.
What?
So his ultimate does nothing. His +1 is lackluster, and his -3 is kind of cool. But like, what deck are you gonna really want to play this guy in? We had talked about. I mean, he's a looter, so we had talked about maybe playing him in like a Reanimator deck that would run like the Thought Courier Merfolk looter.
Yeah.
But like, is that where you want to? I don't think that's where you want to be with Reanimator.
I don't like it. I don't like it in Reanimator at all, and I think that's the only time you... I don't know. I think in any like actual dedicated Reanimator in Highlander, you're probably not running any of the looters. I don't like them.
Maybe the Shadow guy. I like the Shadow guy, but not the actual fish.
No. Yeah, not the fish.
Yeah. So yeah, not a fan of that guy. Liliana, Heretical Healer. 2/3 for 3, lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, essentially flip her, and when you do, you get a 2/2. So that's kind of cool. 2/3 for 3. That's not the greatest body, but lifelink. Hey, you got that going for you. And when she flips another non-token creature you control dying, which is really easy to do, you get a 2/2. So you get something to hopefully make up for what the shitty Planeswalker is going to be. 3 loyalty, +2, each player discards a card. Okay.
Yeah, like Liliana the Veil, but like 1 more, I guess. Yeah.
-X, return target non-legendary creature with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I don't mind that actually. And -8, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, return it to the beginning, to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So, I mean, I don't like judging Planeswalkers by ultimates that you're not realistically going to get to, and I don't think you're realistically ever going to get that with her.
I think her effects, her +2 and her -X are fine. I don't know. I think that she suffers from the whole thing where she's like not a great creature, and then she turns into just equally an okay Planeswalker. So I think she's underwhelming at best.
I feel like she's definitely a card that people will want to play, but then after a couple weeks of testing, they'll be like, "Wow, this is the weakest card in my deck." And then
it's like the 100th card, you know. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe turns out she's got this niche spot. Like if there's red running around, she might fit into like a dark ritual deck or like a zombardment strategy kind of thing.
Totally. But, yeah, she can definitely go with like Goblin Bombardment. Like the fact that it's restrictive to only you though is kind of disappointing. Like if you could like Doomblade one of their guys and get a 2/2 out of it, that would be kind of cool. But that's not the case.
And it's non-token. And the zombardment decks that we've kind of seen, usually they thrive. I mean, they have access to like Gravecrawler, Bloodghast kind of effects, but they like to play their Lingering Souls and get their tokens out that way too.
I wouldn't play this in mono black at all. I don't think so.
She's like a medium poached egg from a restaurant. You're not that. I mean, you're not going to send it back, but
no, you're not sending it back.
You're not super excited. Like you don't.
You're not happy to see it, but like you're gonna eat it because you're hungry enough.
It's there.
You know?
It's a part of the meal. You might as well.
if Liliana is in front of you, you're probably gonna be like, okay, this is fine, I guess.
This is real life.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. The red version of these planeswalkers, Chandra. Unfamiliar name, I know. We haven't seen a lot of Chandras in red, but hey, let's give it a shot. 3 mana for 3 mana for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra. Tap Chandra, pings a player. If Chandra has dealt 3 or more damage this turn, exile her. She flips into 4 loyalty with +1, 2 damage to a player. -2, 2 damage to a creature. -7 deals 6 damage to each opponent, so the enemy player. And then each player dealt damage to this way gets an emblem that says at the beginning of their upkeep, deal 3 damage to them. So again, I don't know. This isn't going to be a relevant ultimate, I think.
No.
As for an actual creature, I don't think she's that good. I mean, what are you going to throw her in? She's too slow.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, if it's restrictive to red spell, and she's 3 mana for a 2/2 body. Underwhelming.
It's unlikely she's going to survive. If she does, and if she can connect, then you attack, you deal the 2, you cast a red spell, she untaps, you ping them, and then she can flip. I get it. That's cute. Pretty easy to get. Let's say they're not going to be able to kill a 2/2, which sometimes shit happens. You got a bad deck, you can't kill a 2/2, I get it. But occasionally, let's say it does happen, she's able to flip, but she can't really protect herself. I mean, she maybe kills a grizzly bear and then she dies, and sure, you get some kind of value. It all seems really underwhelming and a bit too situational.
Yeah, and I think that if you're running a deck list, too, in Highlander, like you're running mono-red burn, she's absolutely not making the cut. And, I don't know, she doesn't have haste either, so, you wouldn't even run her. Yeah, I can't see this ever being in a mono-red burn list. It's way too slow.
Can't think of a shell you'd put her in. Maybe, pinger.deck, but,
yeah,
let's
the
move
pinger!
on. Moving on. We got Nissa Vastwood Seer, 2 and a green, 2/2 Elf Scout. When she ETBs, you search your library for a basic forest and put it into your hand. And then whenever a land ETBs under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, transform her into 3 loyalty, +1, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield, otherwise into your hand. So this Coiling Oracle kind of effect. -2, put a legendary 4/4 green elemental token into play. And -7, untap 6 lands, they become 6/6 creatures. So not super relevant. This card kind of feels like Liliana to me. I know that I've seen some discussion around it.
It's pretty close. That's the one I like the most next to Kytheon, I think. Yeah, next to Gideon, I think this is the second best one.
Yeah, I mean, after looking at it again, it gets a forest into your hand, so there's value off the bat from playing it, but it's a Borderland Ranger. You don't want to play that. But 7 or more lands, if the audience remembers, I liked to play my big dumb green idiot creature decks quite a lot. I wouldn't throw her in that, frankly. Maybe you'd play her in a green black at the rock deck or a turbo land deck, but she seems like Liliana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit better, but not enough to really get me excited.
I do like that she kind of protects herself with her -2.
Yeah.
I think that's relevant when it comes to Planeswalkers. It's another reason why Gideon sort of fits the bill too.
And I like the design space around making the token legendary. I mean, it seems stupid when you think about it, a legendary token creature off of the Planeswalker ability. But the whole thing of you get this 4/4, and if they can't deal with it, then you're not going to be able to make more. Sorry, you got to get some card value going on here.
Yeah.
But if they do deal with it, you get a chance to make more to protect yourself. So from that kind of aspect, I like that. It's very green to me, and it tickles my flavor bone.
don't -2 against Caracas, I guess. I don't know. Like
Lessons.
that's just
If you can take anything away from,
yeah.
however, who knows how long this will end up taking, it's that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're done with the planeswalkers. Let's scroll down a bit here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scroll down. Spoiler alert! Show everybody all these cards. Moving on to Archangel of Tithes. So 1 white for a 3/5 flyer, an angel. As long as the Archangel is untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control, unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. And then as long as she's attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 for each of those attacking creatures. Or each of the attacking creatures. This is a card where it's like, I want to play it. And if there's any card on this list that, in a month after people have like tested this out and they go, see, I knew Ben and Adam were dumb and they were wrong and this card's good, it's going to be this guy, probably.
Yeah. I think it's one of the kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the more mythic-y feeling effect out of some of the mythics, I think, especially on the creatures. It's just kind of cool.
It's an angel, it's got that taxation effect, but it's also aggressive. You're going to probably, if you want to play it, you're going to want to play it in like White Weenie. You're going to want to play it in like I guess like maybe green-white, like Hate Bears, like a green-white creature-based strategy.
Would you play like a 4-mana 3/5 flyer? Like, I mean, like kind of take the text away from this card and look at it for.
Well, that's the thing. It's that like the 4-drop slot in White Weenie is so heavily contested. Like you have to play your 2 Armageddons. If you can't afford Ravages, then like maybe you get an extra 4-drop you want to throw in. But even then, like maybe not. And like the 4-drops for that slot, like Hero of Blade Hold. Ranger of Eos, maybe Restoration Angel if you're feeling spicy, Angel of Jubilation, my sweet loving cinnamon apple. Like, you have these cards that some of them have these taxing effects or these effects that put more pressure on your opponent while still being aggressive, and they might just be better.
I definitely wouldn't play her. Like when I saw her, I like, oh, another tax card, and I like love playing any tax sort of stack variants. But I think her CMC kind of puts her in a position where that's not really viable.
Yeah,
and the effect isn't really strong enough either.
Too many colored mana symbols for like a stack or the air quotes like stompy lists, right? Like aggressive Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void kind of decks.
Yeah, you're going to be hard-pressed to put her in I don't know, like, you could probably slide her in. At 4 mana, she doesn't really even fit into, like, a 2-color list that easily. Like, it's going to be harder to cast, so, I don't know, like, it has to, I think you're right, though, it's going to, maybe it fits in, like, aggro? White aggro? Yeah.
This, again, feel free to chew us out after you've won your weekly Highlander tournaments or your anti-cards using this card, and send all results-oriented thoughts to my channel. Feel free to do that. Disciple the Ring, 3 colorless, 2 blue, 3/4. This card has a lot of text. Nice little formatting to it. Pay 1, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Pick an effect. Counter a non-creature spell unless they pay 2, so Spell Pierce something. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Tap target creature or untap target creature. I don't think this card will get played at all. I mean, it's kind of like this morphling effect. It can interact with them, but like it's expensive to play and to actually use by itself. Like,
The thing I think I don't like about this is it like fills a slot where it's like using cards from your graveyard where like Treasure Cruise is already taking up that spot.
Yeah.
So if you're running this in a deck list, because it's blue, like you're going to be running this in a deck list that wants to run those cards as well, and it's not better than them.
Like if you're playing blue, you're probably, if you're playing a blue control or tempo variant.
Yeah.
You're probably playing Snapcaster, you're probably playing Dig Through Time, maybe Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, or Logic Knot.
Yeah, and this card just doesn't do enough right away. I mean, it's neat, it's cute, but honestly, Adam, I regret wasting however many minutes we spent talking about it, because I don't think I'd play it. Erebos' Titan.
Urgh.
One colorless and 3 black. It's a giant. As long as your opponents control no creatures, the Titan is indestructible. And whenever a creature card leaves an opponent's graveyard, you may discard a card. If you do, you can return the Titan from the graveyard to your hand. It's a 5/5. Adam, I'm going to let you grab the reins on this.
I hate this card so much.
Grab the reins, no entwine. Tell me how you feel.
I hate this card so much. I would never play this card in mono black.
No.
And it will be in mono black because it's like, or I don't know, or maybe like.
I was thinking mono green, but.
Yeah, throw it in. A green black. I don't think this goes in either. Okay, so it's 4 mana, 5/5. Okay, for 4 mana, you can have a 6/6 flyer generally, so that's another reason why I don't think this fits in that.
For like a mono black aggro or like a ride the demon stomp.
Yeah, this guy just doesn't. Okay, this guy is like from Mystery Men, where he's like the guy who thinks he's invisible when like no one's around. Like that's what this is. This guy has indestructible when there's no need for it. Like, like you're running black, you're probably not going to be, he's not going to be like sucking up a lot of like destruction spells, I don't think anyway. And like the time you need indestructible is when you're fighting another creature. And
what are like the most played removal spells? Like swords, right?
Yeah, swords or bouncing. Like I'm like you do very rarely see like I think Doomblades and Go for the Throats. Like they're definitely not as often.
That's going to be my favorite part. Is that I bet somebody will use the example of like, no, it's cool if they don't have any creatures. You can't even Doomblade him, but like he's black, so hey,
yay, yeah, no. And then the secondary ability is card disadvantage and really bad, and it's never happening. He's like a 4 mana 5/5. He's a mythic 4 mana 5/5 vanilla creature. Yep, Erebos' Titan, Erebos' Disappointment.
Speaking of disappointment, Avaricious Dragon, 2 and 2 red, 4/4 flying. Draw a card. At the beginning of your draw step, you draw out a card. At the beginning of your end step, you pitch your hand. So 4/4 flyer for 4, great. But where's the haste? Where's the beef, man? I mean, I wouldn't throw this in mono red. Maybe mono red stacks. This is something that we didn't discuss because we talked a bit about this card with like burn players. Red.
Oh yeah, it's kind of neat.
Where like you play him, you have to pitch your hand, but he's at the end of your curve, so you probably don't have much. But even losing 1 or 2 cards, like if you're a burn deck, that's a big deal. Like duressing a lightning bolt is gaining 3 life, kind of thing, right? Losing, if you have anything of value, then it's just kaput. And he's not that hard to deal with. I mean, he doesn't have hexproof or shroud or anything like that. 4 toughness is kind of nice because he can't get bolted, but I mean.
You don't play him in red because he just doesn't fit the bill. He's a big mistake. You don't play him in red-black aggro, because I used to have a list that like wouldn't like this guy because at 4 you really need haste.
He's not quick like that. The kind of stuff like Spike Jester and
or Hell Rider and
on
stuff.
4 you want to actually bash them. Kind of thing.
Or like Aristocrat. But I can't actually. I mean, maybe in like a stacks variant because like you could use the 2 cards and you have a way to keep them around.
You usually for the stacks ones, I mean he dies to wildfires, which is a little disappointing, which you're going to be playing in red based stacks effect. But on the plus side, he doesn't die to a lot of the sweepers, so like obviously not to pyroclasms, but he dodges that fire spout, slag storm, flame break, that juicy little 3 damage. Again,
and then he gives you a bit of gas, which is really what you need in stacks more than anything else.
And those kind of decks, like, if you draw the card, you're going to play it out, right? Like, it's why some stacks lists, if you're feeling real ambitious, you'll play stuff like Uba Mask. You usually want to throw out what you're doing right away.
That's
so
I
guess I've kind of changed my tone a bit on him, but
yeah, but he definitely doesn't fit case. Just because he has red mana symbols doesn't mean you put him in a conventional red list. Yeah. That's, I think, a Avaricious Dragon in a nutshell.
The aggressive red, So, folks, reserve this dragon for your for when you're feeling like not playing Magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Woodland Bellower. Now, here we go. This is my neck of the woods. 6 mana, 6/5. When he ETBs, you search for a non-legendary creature with CMC 3 or less. put it on the battlefield. I like this guy. I'd probably play him in big green. I mean, he's no prime time, but who is? You slap him down, you can find Wood Elves getting something out, you can get an Arc Druid, you can get Eternal Witness. Sad to say you can't get something like Malira.
Yeah,
so you're
you
not
can't
comboing off.
So it is. You have to search for a legend, for non-legendary green creature.
Yeah, I mean,
so it limits you a bit, but I'm sure you can find a way to abuse this guy.
Yeah, this guy's just value, and like it sucks that he doesn't have trample on such a big body. But I mean, he's value. He's good value too. And most of the green creatures that you're going to be getting are going to have ETB effects, right? Yeah. So, I like this. There's not much to say about him, but I like him.
I like him too. I think, he's solid. Solid 6-drop.
All right, Starfield of Nyx.
Now
we're moving into the little note on this set, being the last of the core sets. I believe is what they were trying to go with this kind of thing. They have a lot of these fixed versions of cards, fixed either because of the older versions of cards have very complicated rules text, or they forgot to include something, and because of that it's on every judge test, or the card was ridiculously broken. Yeah, the card was ridiculously broken, so they had to slap on something to completely neuter it. And that's what Starfield of Nyx is. It's opalescence, it's got a bit of it's got a different little tinge to it. 4 and a white enchantment. Beginning your upkeep, you can return an enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. That part I really like. I like Enchantress. I don't think that's too much of a surprise. So being able to constantly, return something like
Mystic
from
Remora,
attunement,
dude. Mystic Remora.
Yeah, no. Do I have time for cumulative upkeep? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't have fucking time on my hands. I've got all this Latin lounge to listen to.
Dude, I got all these stars to be looking at, homie.
Yeah. And then here's the downside. Now, I probably differ on this point with other Enchantress players. Where as long as you control 5 or more enchantments, each other non-aura enchantment you control is a creature in addition to its other types and has base P&T equal to its CMC. You know what I'm saying? So it opalescences when you have 5 or more enchantments. And I don't like opalescence in Enchantress lists. I think it just opens you up to control decks being like, oh, these Wrath of Gods are live.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Maybe but again, there's this possibility of you just build up your board or you play it and then just bash, and one turn you get them. I would play this over opalescence probably.
Yeah, it's less restrictive cover-wise for 1 more mana. So
yeah, I don't know. I like the idea behind this card. I don't know if I would personally play it. It's one to test out if Enchantress is your jam. Maybe there might. Oh god, it feels like there could be a combo with this card.
This is a Brewmaster's dream. Like, I'm looking at this card and thinking of all the possibilities. Like, I think this card is going to be really fun to play around with.
You just want to get some omniscience into your
brain
and then return.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get jiggy with this.
Adam, let's calm down. I'm getting way too hot and heavy, and we're on the 3rd layer here.
Yeah, we're not even
in the uncommons. Next one, Days Undoing, 2 and a blue. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into their library, draw 7 cards. If it's your turn, end the turn. So it's a time twister, but I really fucking hate this card. I think this card is so bad. To me, it's like a worse time reversal.
But it's fun, Ben. It's fun.
And I'm sure, people have said, there are decks that want to play this. They just want to restock and pass the turn because your card quality is going to be better than theirs. Like, you pay this, you draw your 7, you hold up your counter magic because this is so cheap, and then you continue to play Magic. And I don't want to do that with Time Twisters. I don't want to play Magic. I want to end the fucking game.
Yeah.
I want to storm off. I want to cast a Brain Freeze, or Grape Shot them, Tendrils them. Or played in eggs, and you can't do that. You can't combo with this card, which is obviously the intention.
You can quicken end the turn though, so you can stop everything on the stack, man.
You can't stop their thing. Well, because if it's your turn, end the turn. So you can't even just gotcha, dumbass. Which
Yeah, Days Undoing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's probably not usable, and they're the ones that actually get to do anything with the cards they just drew.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
it kind of says like you're giving them a chance to get their rocks off, and you maybe have permission.
Maybe
Again,
goes in like a blue aggro list to refuel your hand merfolky sort of thing,
yeah,
but even then,
if,
that's not
if
great.
you're playing like the Time Twisters in
Yeah.
like Sea Stompy, just
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
you
flyers
know,
or
I
something
think we're
like
giving
that.
too many people too much hope, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now back into every time we get into the black column, I'm just going to turn my eyes towards the microphone and pretend it's you. We got Demonic Pact here. It's an enchantment. Beginning of your upkeep, you choose an effect that hasn't been chosen. Demonic Pact deals 4 damage to a creature or player, and you gain 4 life. You know, pretty good. Target opponent discards 2 cards. It's a Mind Rot.
Ugh.
Can't target yourself for shenanigans. That's not that big of a deal, but hey, you get them. You draw 2 cards. That's good. Who doesn't like drawing cards? You lose the game. Now, Adam, here's the thing. Losing the game's pretty bad. In
Now,
fact,
when you lose the game, though, is that like, do you get to play anymore after that, or like, how does it work?
It's not even like Workshop Trinosphere you don't get to play. There's no satisfaction. You don't get the W. You just lose the game. I like the flavor behind this card. I
Yeah,
like the
flavor's
idea,
awesome.
but like, don't play this in Highlander.
It's Commander, like, donate list tier. It's Flavor City, and it's got Liliana doing her thing, but the card's really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, no, and all the effects are kind of underwhelming. Like, it should have, if you wanted to play this in Highlander, we have to tweak this to do 5 to 6 damage, gain 5 to 6 life. Like, maybe you discard 2 cards at random instead. Like, maybe you draw 3 cards. Like, it's just, it's
some
underwhelming.
kind of tweak before you lose the game.
Yeah.
And then, just in a format like Highlander, there are just too many things to consider. Too many situations where this can go horribly wrong.
It's Flavor City, but it's really not good.
Okay. Abbot of Keral Keep, 2 mana for a 2/1 prowess. That right off the bat, I mean, prowess, you play burn spells, he gets bigger. Bada bing, bada boom. When he ETBs, you exile the top card of your library. You can play that card until end of turn. Kind of underwhelming. 2-drop slot in like aggressive red decks is really competitive.
Really? Yeah.
So I don't know if this guy fits. Maybe in like the blue-red kind of tempo ones. But again, if you're playing blue, you got counter spells. Like, you don't want to just be like, oh, no, there you go.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this card. I think like I don't know, he might see play in a couple of fringier deck lists, but it's like a really competitive CMC for an effect that isn't that good.
He falls into that category of like cute play around cards that people will want to try out because it's new, but I don't think he'll be that good. And for those that are watching this video and have just noticed that my screen has changed color a bit, blame it on Flux. If you don't know what it is, look it up. I'm not trying to plug them or anything, but that's what happens. Calm down. Your computer's not broken. Moving on to the Great Aurora. 6 and triple green. Each player shuffles all cards from his or her hand and all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then draws that many cards. Each player may put any number of land cards from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Exile the Great Aurora. Commander.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Moving on. Hixus, the Prison Warden. 5 mana, 4/4 flash, legendary soldier. Good creature type. When he deals combat, whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, if Hixus entered the battlefield this turn, exile that creature until he leaves the play. So obviously, like, your opponent bashes with whatever, and then you play Hixus, and then he's like, Journey to Nowhere's everybody, and then if he dies, they all come back. Don't know what you'd play him in.
No.
Wouldn't play
5
him in
mana
white.
flash?
Yeah, he's too expensive for White Weenie. Maybe some control players will try him out, but again, that's like competitive slot. I wouldn't exactly look to play this.
No. He's like a 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For these next couple of cards, I think we're probably going to just like gloss over them because they seem really how do you say, commandery.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pronounce his name. The High Arbiter. He costs 7 mana. Dear God. Okay. No, we're not even going to cover this card. He's one of the cards that like you know, they can't play the named card.
Yeah, he's really bad.
Yeah, I don't want garbage.
Garbage.
Kothafed Soul Hoarder, 6 mana, 6/6 flying demon.
Flavor alert! It's the demon that Liliana signed her first pact with.
Ooh,
yeah.
Her demonic pact, if you will. we should have really done this with like a soundboard, just like have a toilet flush or like a
the flavor alarm. Yeah.
Whenever a permanent owned by another player hits the bin from the battlefield, you draw a card and lose 1 life. I like the effect. It's pretty expensive though. It still reeks commander to me.
He's super commandery. 6 mana, 6/6 commander.
But I like the effect. Pia and Kiran Nalaar.
It's her goddamn parents, man!
Oh my god.
Oh god!
We're just covering like... Wait, are all these guys... I think I'm noticing a trend. I think these are all like the legendary creatures that are like connected to the baby planeswalkers.
Ixis is definitely Gideon's like mentor dude. So
yeah, Al-Hamarit gave birth to Jace, you know, the classics. So 4 mana 2/2, that sucks. ETBs, you get 2 1/1 flying Thopter tokens. That's kind of cool, but pay 3, sack an artifact to shock something. So it's got that Siege Gang commander going for it, but it's just too weak in my opinion.
It just reeks steampunk.
And we know, and as if you are a longtime listener and constant viewer of this program that hasn't aired for 8 months or so, you'll know we hate steampunk. He's wearing the goggles. That's like the steampunk justification for their bullshit.
I do like that they're a loving family, though.
Yeah.
I think that's really positive.
No, that's cute. They're bringing passion back to the game.
Back to Magic. Yeah.
Okay, next one, Elf Woman. 2 and 2 green.
Dywin?
3/4.
Dwinian?
Dwinian.
We'll go with that.
I don't speak elf, man. 4 mana 3/4 elf warrior. Has reach. Other elves you control get +1/+1.
Nice.
Whenever she attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. I think there's another legendary elf, one of the Reeses, that does that. Surprisingly, I like this card.
It's alright.
I've bashed like elf aggro in the past, like where you're actually playing like Imperious Prefect or Perfect or whatever its name is, and like Elvish Champion. But I actually think that deck might be kind of real. Like you play mono green or like green splash red or green splash white for Armageddons or something spicy, and I think you'd play this in that. It's an anthem attached to a body that has decent stats and has an upside. Unfortunately, the upside, she has to attack to get it, but like, it's still not that bad.
Shout out to Sam, who plays like elves on the regular.
Oh, shout out to Sam. I remember Sam. Sam, if you remember me, you have the shout out from Adam and I.
Yeah, he's the homie.
Yeah, somebody get Sam, get that man one of these.
Yeah.
Moving on to some more. Oh god, this is a 7 mana instant. 7 mana. It's 7 mana instant. You get 4 knights with vigilance, spell mastery, which means if there are 2 or more instant or sorceries in your graveyard, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. This costs a fucking million mana.
Dude. Blinkmoth Infusion could learn a thing or two from Gideon's Phalanx.
Yo, shoutouts to Blinkmoth Infusion. 14 mana instant. That's how you really get down. Go big or go home. Gideon's Phalanx. Phalanx. Talent of the Telepath. I like that name. 4 mana sorcery. Target opponent reveals top 7 cards. You cast an instant or sorcery without paying it, and then the rest get milled. Spell Mastery, you can cast 2 of them. I don't like this card. It's too situational. It's cute, but...
It's commandery.
Now we're at the actual fucking meat and potatoes.
Best
Dark
card
Petition.
in the
5 mana. Search your library for a card. Put that card in your hand. Shuffle your deck.
Now, what card does that, Ben?
Good old Demonic Tutor. You know, if you're familiar, Diabolic Tutor from Odyssey, the first card to do that effect. No, but anyways, Spell Mastery, add triple black. And you know what, Adam? When I Demonic Tutor, I usually find Yawgmoth's Will.
Ooh.
And, occasionally Black Lotus, but more often than not, Yawgmoth's Will. And this card, if you spell mastery, which you sure hope you have that spell mastery, otherwise this card's crap.
It's garbage.
It sure hell looks like pay 5, demonic tutor into Yogg-Will.
Yeah, or Kerbeck's Bite.
Or oh, out of left field. No, this card's nuts. Play it in Storm. Play it in Raisin Brand, whatever the Tin Fins monstrosity we brewed is called.
No, this card's really good. It goes in a lot of combo decks. It gives you like relevant mana once at the end of it. Yeah, I mean, it's free mana for you, Jim.
It's free mana for you, Jim. The initial cost is a bit heavy, but it gets things done, goddammit.
Yep. And all you're looking for in Highlander is more tutors, and this is just one more reasonable tutor.
Yeah. Exquisite Firecraft.
Yep.
1 red, sorcery, 4 damage to a creature or player. Spell mastery, can't be countered. I like this card. Throw it in burn, throw it in a red deck, throw it in anything that you want to actually just like... I mean, it's great at killing creatures because 4 damage is insane.
Yeah, it does target. Okay, cool.
Going to the dome, that's great. Spell mastery is pretty easy to get on these decks, and even if you don't have it, who cares?
Yeah, it's Char, it's Char.
It's Urza. It's like a better Urza's Rage. It's Urza's Rage and Char together.
Shout out to Urza's Rage.
Shout out. We got a lot of shout outs today, but shout out to Urza's Rage. All right, Animist's Awakening. X and 1. Reveal the top X cards of your deck. Put all lands from among them onto the battlefield. Tap the rest on the bottom of any order. If there are 2 or more instant sorceries in your graveyard, untap those lands. I want to see someone brew with this card. I like this card.
Yeah, I think it might go in lands. Does this go in lands? I have never played it. I know you had. So.
I mean, there's so many different lands, varieties to do. You can do the 60 lands. You can do the you have lands are your modus operatum. That's what you're trying to do, but you have other cards in there. I don't know. Tinker with it for the lands decks because I don't think the best kind of lands deck has really shown itself yet. But
yeah, Surge has been sort of on and off of those deck lists with a great, sort of varying great deal of success. He's put together some really good lands lists. Yeah. I think this. I don't know if untapping your lands is what you want to do in lands though. No, I know that sounds silly, but
because a lot of the lands that you're getting Tabernacle into play tap doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Glacial Chasm into play tap doesn't matter. Bajukabog already comes into play tapped. Maybe for some utility lands that you might want to use, but I don't know how important that is, but would you play this if you're looking for this kind of effect, would you play this card in the lands deck without spell mastery? I think you would. So yeah, this card, I mean, I like it. It's neat. Tinker with it.
It fits somewhere for sure.
Yeah. Hallowed Moonlight, 2 mana until end of turn. If a creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead, draw a card. Super narrow, tries to go for Rector Hulk, Pattern Rector decks, or Reanimator decks or whatever. Show and Tell, Natural Order. I mean, now that I think about it, it's not that narrow, but again, this is a sideboard card. I wouldn't play it.
It's trying to be what is it, that card that they just printed recently, Containment Priest or whatever?
Oh yeah, why play this when you can play Containment Priest?
Yeah. Or no, this one, is this any creature would enter the battlefield that wasn't cast? Yeah, oh, never mind. So this is more for Reanimator and stuff like that, or...
If a creature,
it does hit token generators though as well, so...
It also affects you, so I'd love to see someone use this and then EOT Aether Vial and then get screwed. Displacement Wave. X double blue. Return all non-land permanents with CMC X or less to their owner's hand. Upheaval. Much better card. Look it up. It's real, I promise. Despoiler of Souls. Double black for a 3/1, can't block. Pay double black. Exile 2 other creatures from your graveyard. Return them from the graveyard to play. I like this guy in really aggressive black decks. I don't want to use the term Suey Black. I just did. Oh,
you just did?
Cut the
just
tape.
Did.
Cut
the
tape.
tape.
Oh god, an hour of work down the drain. Yeah, I don't know.
It fits. It's a 2 mana 3/1. Yeah, no, it's good.
Canned blockings for cowards.
Yeah,
Or wait, no. Can cowards can't block? We're gonna have to do some research on.
Cut the tape again.
Cut the tape again. Yeah, we like this card.
Yeah, it's a 3/1 for 2. It fits.
Chandra's Ignition. You put the key in that ignition. I forget the rest of the R. Kelly song. But, song about peeing on people, but that's far from what we're trying to discuss here. 5 mana sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent.
Commander.
Yeah, that's what this card screams. Shitty Survival of the Fittest. 2 mana enchantment. Pay a green, sack a creature. Oh god, it's even worse than I thought.
Oh god.
It's a really bad survival. You sack a creature instead of pitching it. You reveal cards from the top of your deck until you hit the creature, and then that creature goes into your hand, and then all the cards go into the bottom of your deck. So it can't even mill yourself. You have to sack the creature. The creature is random, and it just goes to your hand. I get it. Survival is broken, but come on.
Like, yeah, if you don't even get it in play or anything like that. So I don't know. What do you? Yeah.
I won't play it.
I don't like it.
Moving on. Not 3 mana. Player gains 4 life. Draw a card. I like this card. Harbinger of the Tides. Double blue for a 2/2. It's a Merfolk Wizard. You may cast it as though it had flash if you pay an additional 2.
Yeah.
When it ETBs, you can return a tap creature an opponent controls to its hand.
That card's good.
I like this card. Whether it's just like a super cheap mana ward, just like tempoing them out against getting their mana dork back into their hand. It's not that much, but like, hey, it's something, or like just slowing down an aggro deck. I like this guy, and the fact that you can play him as though he had flash, really cool. You can play him off Aether Vial, super cheap. It's another Merfolk, so Merfolk Lander slowly getting better.
Yeah.
I like this guy. Gilt-Leaf Winnower. 5 mana 4/3 Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So this is a new mechanic, I assume. Unless this like popped up nowhere. And when he enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal.
What?
This is just expensive. Like Shriekmaw costs 5, but it also costs 2, and it's expensive. I wouldn't play this card.
Yeah, and that's narrow-ish. I mean, it's there's gonna be.
Neat. I like the design space of that, but
yeah, it's got flavor. Yeah. It's also an elf warrior in black, which is kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Embermaw Hellion, 5 mana 4/5 trample. If a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals that much damage +1 instead. So it increases all forms of damage by 1 from red sources. Not from itself, though. Again, 5 mana, doesn't have haste, it's a little too expensive. For Commander.
Yeah.
Guy's Revenge is a reprint. Night of the White Orc is a reprint. Jace's Sanctum, 4 mana enchantment. Instants and sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, scry 1. I want to like this card, but Adam, I gotta tell you, I've been burned so many times in the past. I don't know if my heart's up for it.
Oh, I think we had a thing for this. Oh yeah, it's Commander.
Oh.
It goes in Commander.
It's Commander. I wouldn't play it in Hindsight or like Heartbeat or any of those kind of combo decks. Playing Commander. Oh, sorry, got the little pop up going for people.
It's mega slow, and its effect is like kind of yeah.
Okay, Graveblade Marauder. This guy, I was letting in Connor McCleary. Shout outs to Connor McCleary.
Shout out to Connor McCleary.
Because if there's one if there's one man that'll interrupt this Skype call, it'll be him. 3 mana for a 1/4 Death Touch. When he deals damage to a player, that player loses life equal number of creatures in your bin. And I was going off. I was like, man, this is like, you can Hermit Druid.
Dude, I was going to say Hermit Marauder. It's the new deck list.
It's the new jam. And then I was like, wait a minute. Hermit Druid doing what it used to do was much better. Yeah, so...
Yeah, no, it's definitely really bad. Better play.
It's got this guilt feeder thing going on to it. It's kind of cool that they picked up this ability. Probably shouldn't cost 5 mana, but...
Oh, shout out to Guilt Feeder.
Torment, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fear before it was Fear before it was keyworded or like cut from the game.
And then removed.
Yeah. Flame Shadow Conjuring. Jesus Christ, that name. Whenever a non-token creature ETBs, you may pay red. If you do, put a token that's a copy, gains haste no end of turn. Doesn't do anything when you play it, Commander.
Commander.
Herald of the Pantheon. This is my shit.
I love this.
2 mana 2/2. Enchantments cost 1 less to cast. Love that. Whenever you cast an enchantment, gain a life. Love that. Slap it into every Enchantress deck. Love this card. Not much to say other than that. Kytheon's Irregulars.
Well, are they a little band of buddies?
It's a Goon Squad right here.
Goon Squad.
Double white and 2 colorless for a 4/3. Renown, another new keyword. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it becomes renowned. Pay double white, tap a creature. Powerful effect. Unfortunately, costs 4 mana in the competitive slot. Maybe an Angel Stompy, but this is just Adam and I are just throwing bones.
Yeah, we're not throwing these irregulars any bones because this card isn't any good.
Adam, you tease you. Moving on, Mizium Meddler, 2 and a blue, 1/4, flash. It's a wizard, so get your Riptide Laboratories ready.
Yeah.
When he ETBs, you can change the target of a spell or ability to the Meddler. Somebody's gonna have to peddle this Meddler to me because I don't think it's worth playing, Adam.
This Meddler, man. He when someone thought they were gonna shoot a spell at you, man, he gets in the mix and meddles it all up.
He's a one-time spell skite that I don't want to play.
He's got a big rump, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's the kind of card that, like, if I were, like, showing up weekly and I brewed up this deck and I'd be like, oh man, this is totally going to catch somebody off guard.
Yeah.
And it does, and then I still lose that game. Like, this is the card that'll be, like, involved with it.
It's very much Imp's Mischief tier.
Oh, baby. Next card,
Next.
not even going to... It doesn't... We're 100 cards.
No, it doesn't work enough. Yeah.
Pile Driver's a reprint, but it's cool that he's back. Honored Hierarch. I like this card. 1 mana, 1/1. Renowned 1. It's a human druid. As long as he's renowned, it has vigilance and taps to add 1 mana of any card to your mana pool.
Yeah, I mean, it has to swing. It's kind of... I don't know. It feels like a...
It looks better than it actually is, I think. It's one of the... Because there's a card that is just like a 2 mana 2/2 that has vigilance tap add some kind of mana. It's from like a Lara block. This guy's obviously a bit better than that, but still, I don't know how much better. Like,
he's not an elf, which bothers me. I don't know. I don't like this card actually. After looking at it again,
I don't know if I'd play it in like the hyper mana decks, but again, like maybe you play it in like Naya aggressive, where you want to like fix her colors and.
It has to go in aggressive deck, because if you draw this card late, he doesn't do anything.
It's just like, hey guys, I'm a 1/1
for
1.
Yeah.
Now on to a good renown card, Relic Seeker. 1 and a white for a 2/2. Human Soldier, great creature types, has renown 1. When he becomes renowned, you can search your library for an equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand. This card's nuts, I think. I mean,
yeah. Why isn't this one a mythic?
It's a bear that has to survive, which is kind of iffy, but still, if it hits, like, being able to Stoneforge Mystic is great.
Yeah.
Play this card if you're in a creature-based white deck.
Yes.
Maybe even... No, not control. I take back everything I've ever said. Soulblade Jin. Coolest idea in the set. I'm glad that there's, like, a Jin with, like, floating swords and shit.
Yeah, shout out to Jins.
Yeah. They made a throwback in the con set, I think, but this is what I'm talking about. Like this guy is like Mahamadi's like younger brother. 4/3 for 5 flyer. He's a Jin. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Not that good.
No, he's not that good, but he's got flavor written all over him.
He gets the flavor award of this category. And by category, I mean of the card I'm talking about right now, because there might be a more flavorful card after this, but I haven't even read half this set. Let's move on to a card that Adam really likes.
Yeah, I like Language a lot. Language is pretty good. It's super playable in a in Mutilate. Mutilate's Like Mutilate's a pretty good board wiper in mono black, but Languish is just like playable in other deck lists.
Yeah, I've even seen Mutilate in like 2-color decks and not be that bad. Like green black, it's not the worst in Urborg decks. It's like a damnation. Kills Thrun. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Control decks control decks hate this troll. But Languish can just
Also, shout out to Dross Crocodile, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you just have to cough on that thing and it dies. Play Languish.
I like
great.
this card. Yeah.
Molten Vortex, on the other hand, is a really bad Seismic Assault. There was some discussion on this card on the actual Highlander page.
Yeah.
Don't like it. It's cheap to play, which is nice, but it requires mana to use. You wouldn't want to play it in lands because the whole idea is if you're Life from the Loaming, kind of comboing off that way, you're already spending your mana to cycle like a Tranquil Thicket or something to get Life from the Loam back to trigger the Dredge and all that shit. So your mana's already tied up, and you don't want it in Sly.
But you don't want it in Burn either.
No.
You do not want this in Burn. People will make the argument like, oh, this makes drawing lands good, but it actually, you know what? It doesn't. Like, it's 1 mana for something that should be more damage and, like, should be more useful. I don't know. I don't like it.
Managorger Hydra. 3 mana, 1/1 trample. Whenever a player casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on him. This guy's... Oh, okay. This guy... I don't mind this guy. He's kind of like Taurine Mauler, in a way.
Yeah.
He's not a goblin. He's obviously 1 less. But it includes you casting spells, and he has trample. Unless Taurine Mauler has trample, and I'm just looking like an idiot on the internet. But hey, nothing new. I don't know. I don't mind this guy. He's not super powerful, but he's not really weak.
I don't think he's going to be playable, though, just because he's a 1/1 to begin with. And I mean, maybe in, like, kind of like a... No, you wouldn't even really play him in tempo.
I don't want him in tempo. I don't want him in stompy. I don't want him in, like, aggressive decks. I just don't want this guy, I think.
He should have been, like, maybe a 2/2. That would have made him, like, a little bit more playable in Highlander, I think.
If they made him a 2/2 and made him more intensive on the green side, like, I can understand that.
Yeah, totally.
But, yeah. All right, moving on. Scroll down. Sigil of the Empty Throne, reprint. Thopter Spy Network. I really like this card. And I don't exactly... Oh, I kind of know why, because it combos with Smokestack. And other kind of effects like that. So it's an enchantment, 2 and a 2 blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact, get a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying into play. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have an artifact, which you should, like all good God-fearing Highlander players should be playing.
Playing the best color in Magic, the lack of.
Yeah, exactly. And you get a flyer, so that's not bad. Combos with smokestack effects, so you want to throw this in a stack probably, or like an artifact or like Sea Stompy or something like that. And then whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So there's a nice little plus to it.
I think I like this a lot with maybe if you play some sort of. This is very hypothetical, and this is the way my mind works. But I would like to see this in like a list that runs like what is it? Is it not Contamination? What's the one that like that creates all black mana for their when they go to tap their lands?
No, it's Contamination.
Is it Yeah. See, Contamination, Thopter Spy Network, and any of your ramp is like that's baby's first makes only black.
That's
Oh, I like this card. It's cool. It probably fits in something.
I like it. It's really neat. It's not super powerful, but it's synergistic. It's cool. Priest of the Bloodright, 5 mana 2/2 human cleric. When he ETBs, you get a 5/5 demon with flying into play, and at the beginning of your upkeep, lose 2 life. I like this card. I don't know if it's that good, but I mean, I like him in like the top end of the Zombardment decks, right? You play him, you sacrifice this idiot, and you just have this 5/5.
A 5/5.
And there are cards that say like return something with power X or less, or toughness X or less, and he fits that role too. And I mean, realistically, 2 life a turn. Hey. We're all gonna die someday, am I right?
He's a 2-for-1. He's an expensive 2-for-1.
It's gonna hurt if they like vapor snag that demon, but
Woo! Woo! And they probably will.
Oh, they will. They better. Yeah, I don't know. This
7
card,
power for 5 mana. I think that's maybe the way that you need to look at this.
yeah, I like it. That's my say on it.
Yeah.
Card I really like, Scab-Clan Berserker. So, as far as I know, again, haven't read most of the set. It's a 3-mana 2. Yeah, we're doing it live.
Yeah.
3-mana 2/2 with haste, renown 1. When this creature deals combat damage, why am I reading fucking renown? Anyways, it's haste and renown. So that's the only. I think this is the only card with that, which is like the ideal.
Yeah.
So it bashes for 2, hopefully. Becomes a 3/3, and then has whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, if this guy's renowned, it deals 2 damage to that player. Punishing to storm, control, all that jazz. It clocks in right away. You know, worst case scenario, you got a Goblin Chariot that if it connects, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
I think this card's great. Throw it in your red aggressive creature decks, maybe even like the green red aggressive or like Boros or whatever. I like this card.
Yeah, I do too. I think that card's pretty cool. And my only concern with that card is at 3 mana, is this guy going to do combat damage?
Yeah, I mean, you have to... It's one of those things where, like, ideally, either they don't have a creature and he's able to connect, or turn 1 you play, like, a Rakdos Cackler or a Goblin Guide, something like that. Turn 2 you hold up a burn spell. Like, let's say you have a Snapland Searing Blaze. This is just, like... I want to say this is Magical Christmas Land because I'm just like trying to pull out my like.
We're creating the hypotheticals, but yeah.
But I mean that's not that far fetched, right? Or just like having any burn spell to knock out whatever they play, and then you slap this guy, clock in.
Yeah, I think hypothetically speaking, this card feels really playable in Island.
And against like control decks, right? If they tap out on turn 2 for a Mana Stone, and you've like. Clock them with a 2/2. On turn 2, you burn their face or something when they play their Mana Rock. And then turn 3, you play this guy, clock in for an additional 2 with him. And then they're in a position where they really want a Wrath. Or they want to do something. And if they do, well then they get burned for another 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets them burned at some point.
This guy gets me.
Scab-Clan Berserker understands what Ben Wheeler's talking about.
This guy, you know, we've had a couple of beers together, and all right, and this is Revelation. 7-mana commander card. Tragic Arrogance. I think this is the shitty Cataclysm.
Yes.
It's a 5-mana Cataclysm, but they also pick Planeswalker.
The nice thing about this card is, unlike Cataclysm, you're choosing for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, read it.
Oh, okay, I like this card. I like this card in stacks. I mean, I like a lot of things in stacks, but I like this card. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing, too, is, like, shamming artifact creature. Yeah. So, like, oh, it's permanent. Planeswalkers, too. Okay. So they have an artifact creature. Boom. There you go. You take all of their other artifacts and all their other creatures.
Take that, idiot.
Take that, idiot.
5-mana sorcery to your dome. Yeah, I don't know. Play this card. Willbreaker. 3 and 2 blue for a 2/3. I'm already disappointed. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes a target of spell or ability you control, gain control of that creature as long as you control Willbreaker. Wins the award for the most instances of the word control in any card. But I wouldn't play this card. Too vulnerable. The effect is cute, but I mean...
Yeah, it's Commander.
Yeah, Commander. Tainted Remedy, also Commander.
Commander.
The player gains life, whatever the fuck. Next card... this card is... Yeah, this next card is just a limited card. It's a limited card. Outland Colossus. 5-mana, 6/6.
Renowned 6? Damn!
Oh, damn, homie. In high school, this kid was the man, homie.
And homie?
He can't be blocked by one or more than one creature. He doesn't have trample, but I mean, giving this guy trample would be pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like this guy, but I don't know if he's got a spot, right?
Yeah, he's a 5-mana 6/6 though. Again, this is just like probably one of those cards that'd be super good in like draft or something like that, and not good in Highlander.
Yeah, he's just a donkey. Like he's a big dumb idiot baby, and I don't know if I need big dumb idiot babies in my life, you know?
Yeah, no man.
Next up, we have the Pegasus, 2 and a white for a 2/1 flying. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast, so it's a flying glow rider.
It's a hate bear.
Yeah, I like this card.
Yeah.
It's a better glow. It's a glow rider that you don't have to feel bad about playing.
And look at that art.
That's some good art.
Yeah, it's got evasion. This card's really good in hate bears, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Look
at that. 1 white mana symbol, 2 colorless. City of Traders, Mox Pearl, cast this thing. Nice cantrip, dork. Anchor to the Aether, that's a...
skip.
Yeah, skip that. Blightcaster's a reprint. Call of the Full Moon. It's an aura that looks like it sucks.
I think we're probably going into the uncommon zone here.
Yeah. We're going to probably skip over a bunch of stuff. Conclave Naturalists is just a Indrik Stomp Howler. The art's a bit nicer, but I mean, old Stomp Howler you'd probably play over this card. So next row, don't play that. Clash of Wills, X in a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller plays X. It's a condescend that doesn't scry. Don't play this card. Folks, we have lost Adam, and there is no way in hell that I am going to cut that from this tape.
We're back, sorry.
He's back, sorry. Consecrated by Blood, limited card. Hello. 2 mana 2/2, Elf Warrior. When he ETBs, if you control another elf, you put a 1/1 green elf into play. I like this card. For the elf, like, aggro decks.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 2-drop that, like, gets you 3 power right away. Both of the guys are elves. If you have a Hive Master, you get more. There are a bunch of cards that say, like, when something enters the battlefield, do this. So that guy's pretty good.
Did you skip over Clash of Wills? Like,
yeah,
the actual counterspell?
I just said it was a bad condescend.
Yeah, it's a bad condescend.
Yeah. Blessed Spirits, it's a Winddrake that whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 1/1 counter on them. You wouldn't play this in Enchantress. Limited. Probably even not limited. Hydrolash sucks. Cruel Revival is a reprint.
Yeah,
Fiery Conclusion. Elemental Bond. Whenever a creature with power 3 or greater ETBs, draw a card. Doesn't do anything by itself. I wouldn't exactly play this card.
No, it's slow.
No, moving on. Now, I know there's some goodies in this area.
Yeah.
Consul's Lieutenant. 2 mana for 2/1 first strike, Renown 1. When he attacks, or when they attack, or is it a he or she? Whenever the Lieutenant attacks, let's stay gender neutral here.
Yeah.
Whenever the Lieutenant attacks, if it's Renowned, other attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
You seem to be throwing a lot of white weenie love in here.
Yeah, I like this card. It's a soldier, it's a human, it's got first strike. I mean, it's vulnerable to burn or whatever, but I mean, everything in that deck usually is. Renown is great with first strike, obviously, because first strike, I mean, they can throw something under the bus, and you usually don't have to worry about getting goozled. And then its Renowned ability is really good, getting to Glorious Anthem everybody else.
Yeah. This is
another...
It's another white weenie.
Yeah. Jessian Thief. It's a 3 mana 1/3. It's an Ophidian, it's a Squirrel Thief, I guess is a more accurate comparison now. When it deals damage to a player, combat damage, draw a card, and it has prowess. I have a soft spot for Ophidians, but they never really see play.
3 mana for 1/3.
Yeah. And Eyeblight Massacre, pretty sure that's a reprint. It's a really expensive infest. You're never playing this card.
No, not when you've languished in the same... Yeah, no.
Ghirafur Aether Grid. Enchantment. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. It pings something. Does this combo with Clock of Omens? No. I don't think this card actually does anything.
No, that card's not... Yeah. No.
I like what you're trying to do, Wizards. You're trying to appeal to the degenerates such as Adam and I. It's not going to work.
It's not working, Wizards.
You got to try harder.
You got to try harder.
Gather the pack. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can put a creature from them into your hand. The rest go to the bin. Spell Mastery, you get 2 instead. This is like a cheaper, worse Lead the Stampede. I don't like this card. I don't think it does enough. It's nice that the cards go to the bin. Like, you can maybe play in a Reanimator kind of strategy. No, you can't. What the hell am I talking about?
It just gets you two creatures instead. It's like card advantage, I guess, but it's not like you would never why would you play this at 2 mana? Like, it's competing for insane spots at 2 mana.
Yeah. Knightly Valor, garbage. Counter target. Oh, this is a counter spell that doesn't look very good. So it counters an instant sorcery spell that targets you, so like the hindering light kind of thing. Excuse me. And spell mastery, you can copy.
I don't.
You copy that spell that's countered, and you can choose new targets.
I don't like that.
Yeah, too situational.
Fleshy.
Old flashback more. This is a reprint back with worse art, better art. I mean, they're both gross, but this one isn't gross enough, you know?
Yeah, it's nice.
I miss old Fat Round.
Yeah. Yeah, give us that fat and round.
Give me that old Fat Round.
Yeah, where's the beef, Wizards?
Oh, God. Goblin Glory Chaser. This guy's actually pretty good. I think, 1 mana, 1/1, Renown. As long as he's renowned, he has Menace.
That card's insane.
It's a goblin with 2... It's an aggressive goblin.
Yeah.
Goblins will probably play this. Draga Invocation. This card is a bad overrun. We don't even play the good ones.
Oh god, it's 6 mana. It's 6 mana. No.
Next little row. We don't play the Starfish. We don't play Murder Investigation. Gnarlroot Trapper. A black for a 1/1. Tap. It's an elf. Tap, pay 1 life, add a green, spend this only to cast elf creature spells, and then tap, target attacking elf you control gains death touch until end of turn.
It's hyper-specific. I don't think it's played.
Yeah, I don't like this card. What I do like is Magmatic Insight. 1 red, as an additional cost to casting it, discard a land card, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, that card's really good.
I like it. I don't think you actually... I mean, yeah, I don't think you actually play this in Burn. I mean, I'm probably going to get a lot of booing and hissing for that. But it's one of those things where, like, off the top of your deck, nothing else, it doesn't do anything. And it's not a land. So it doesn't fill that kind of, like, idea of Burn for me.
Yeah, I think the one issue with this card, well, actually, I think I'm coming back on this one. Because, like, if you're top decking this, that means you already don't have lands in your hand, in which case you have to wait the next turn to cast it, so it's not great.
Or, I mean, if you're smart, like, if you hold the lands, you can maybe be like, oh, can't play all these lands, gotta bluff these spells and think about that Magmatic Insight that might be in the next couple of cards. I do like this card, though. I think it's quite good.
Flavor-wise, it's pretty cool, too.
Flavor, yeah.
Yeah.
Get more magma into the game, Wizards.
Shout out to Magma.
Shout out to Magma. The next little row is it's all bunk. I'm skipping all that.
Yeah, skip it.
Next row. This is also just bunk. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start Sphinx's Tutelage. 3 mana enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2. From his or her library, and if they're both non-land cards that share a color, repeat this process. So obviously they don't want this to combo with Painter Servant, and then it has 6 mana loot. But come on, guys, let it combo with Painter Servant. What's the big idea? If you play this in Modern, like really, is anybody going to go turn 2 Painter Servant, turn 3 Tutelage, get probed, they're dead? Probably. Good call.
Next.
The rest of this is bunk. Sylvan Messenger is a reprint. Moving on.
Yep.
Swift Reckoning, bad. It destroys a tapped creature, so it's like a vengeance for 2. But white removal, you already have the best of the bunch. So
Targeist is bad.
And a reprint. Revenant is a reprint. Shoutouts to Revenant from Stronghold. Nice to see. I mean, you've moved down in the world. You're an uncommon now, but you're still looking trim there, buddy. The Giant sucks. Undercity Troll, 2 mana 2/2, Renown 1, pay 3, regenerate the troll. I don't even want to comment on that. I'm going to leave the audience up to deciding.
Audience, Undercity Troll, you decide.
Like for yes, share for
yeah.
Share. Totem Guide Heartbeast, aka the Stoneforged Mystic of Sealed League at Yellow Jacket Comics. Reprint. Turn to Frog, reprint. Shadows of the Past, Commander. Thopter Engineer. When he ETBs, you get a Thopter token. Artifact creatures you control have haste. No dice.
I think we can skip maybe down to the... How many more uncommons are there left?
Well, there's a couple more. To the comments, but there might be something good. Okay, I'm just going to kind of browse over this. So the Wardens, no. Next one, no. The viewers will be able to see my mouse scrolling over things. No, 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 no. Oh God, no. Why is that printed? Absolutely not. You've got to be kidding me. Well, this is kind of cute, but I probably wouldn't. Caustic Caterpillar, 1 mana, 1/1, insect, pay 2, sack it, destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's kind of cute, but again, there's more things to do that. Elvish Visionary, obviously a reprint. Bowels Lizard, shout out to Mono Red and Triple RTR.
Oh, we found the best card in the set, Oromancer, obviously. There you go. Done.
Dude, I'm not even... Oh, spoiler alert. I'm not even at that row yet. I haven't even talked about Deadbridge Shaman. Shoutouts to Wizards for making a kind of a reprint on Noxious Toad, which is the sick commander card, but like it's from Portal and really fucking hard to find. So for every kid out there, or oh wait, no, it has 3 power. I'm a fucking liar. This card's awful. Next row. Yeah, all those cards are bad. Yeah, we've already seen all this. Ooh, Celestial Flare's back. That card's bad. This is a great way to just slop this up. Cleric of the Forward Order, 2 mana, 2/2. When he ETBs, you gain 2 life for each creature you control named that. So, shoutouts to Limited in this guy, but like, it's not doing anything by himself. Enlightened Aesthetic, if you're really looking for more monk realists from like Urza's Saga that does the exact same thing, if you want that but a cat, you got it. Faerie Miscreant, it's a flying man, but it has an upside if you control other Faerie Miscreants for whatever reason. Yeah, that's it's a flying man, so you
Reprint
probably
to Frying Man, yeah.
Frying Men? Oh,
Frying Man,
yeah.
the
Rise of the
red
Blue
variation.
Baby.
Yeah.
This card's actually good. Nissa's Pilgrimage. 2 and a green. Search your library for 2 basic forest cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 into the battlefield tap and 1 into your hand. Shuffle your deck. So it's Kodama's Reach or a Cultivate for only forests. But Spell Mastery, you can find 3 forests instead of 2. So you get 1 into play tapped and then 2 into your hand. Mm-hmm. And that's, I mean, it's, if you're playing a green-based deck, then that's probably not that bad. It's not exciting, but if you're really looking for more of that, then hey.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've already seen all these cards before in the history of Magic. Reevesel, we already have enough of that. Jesus Christ, Wizards, give me something to work with. This is my first video in 8 months. I brought the young Adam Price into the battlefield, and I don't want him to go out like this.
Man, what are they doing with all these commons, man?
Have just, frankly, Mark Rosewater is ruining Magic. Oh, shoutouts to Smash to Smithereens at Common. I think this might have been printed in Modern Masters 2, but it's good to see them take a $4 common and put it to 10 cents. More garbage. Okay, this card. Topan Freeblade, 2 mana, 2/2, Vigilance, Renown. It's a soldier, it's a human. If you're on a bit of a budget and you're playing White Weenie, the card's not... I've played worse cards in tournament-winning decks in Highlander. You can too.
I think actually the budget comment's pretty relevant too. Like, that definitely goes in.
White Weenie's not a cheap deck. Like, people think it might... I mean, it can be. It can most certainly be, especially because they keep pumping out all these cards for this. But like, once you add up the Mox, the Ravages, and all that jazz, like, and the Beta Savannah Lions, like, the Beta Winter Orb, it's going through the roof at them. And I think that's it. Oh, hold the phone. We've got multicolored cards. Aroha's Champion, 1 red and a white for a 2/2 double striker. I like this card. I like double strike mechanic. There's like a kind of cute like Naya double strike deck that has seen some play, and this card fits in that kind of deck. I wouldn't play it in like Boros or anything, but it's got that jam. 5 mana for a 3/2. No, thank you. 4 mana for a 2/3. No, thank you. That card's also probably bad. Blood-Cursed Knight. Vampire Knight. 1 white black for a 3/2. As long as you control an enchantment, it gets +1/+1 and has life.
Oh!
Dude, slapping Edge of Divinity on this bad boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cracking in for like 7. I didn't do the math, but I hope that's right. I don't even remember what that card does.
Unholy Strength on this guy.
Oh,
It's yeah.
I love Unholy Strength in Highlander.
It's white and black. You could be running Unholy Strength and Holy Strength, or whatever, Divine Strength, or whatever it's called. There you go.
Finally, all my holy strengths are being saving and not burning out of pure rage. Bounding Krasis. So
I think this card's good.
I like this card. 3 mana for a 3/3 flash in blue-green. When he ETBs, you can tap or untap a creature. So obviously, it combos with like Splinter Twin or Kiki Jiki. There in the Highlander days of yore, there was like a rug like pod deck that would usually just combo people out with Kiki Jiki. It was just crushing, and this guy would go into that. You could also, if you want, just play it as like a tempo card. Like I wouldn't play this in the Sorensen lists, but I would play this in. There's like the German Lander equivalent to like the Sorensen lists. It's more focused on creatures and like it plays like mana dorks and I guess mana war kind of effects to gain your tempo that way. Like you're more board oriented.
Yo, this guy's a fish lizard. Did you see that?
Best card in the set, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. We're done. Citadel... No, I like that guy. Play that guy.
Yeah,
Citadel Castellan? Somebody correct me. Nick Picard, correct me. 3 mana, 2/3. Human Knight. Vigilance. Vigilance Renown 2. You can play it on turn 2. That's kind of cool. Off like a mana dork, obviously. Vigilance Renown, like this guy's going to get big if he gets Renown. I don't know if you'd play him because he's got to compete with like Loxodon, Smiter, and Neither Reliquary.
Yeah.
But yeah. Reclusive Artificer, 4 mana, 2/3, haste. When he ETBs, you may have it deal damage to target creature. That card's bunk. Hellhound's bunk.
Yeah.
Zendikar Incarnate costs too much. Shaman of the Pack. I like this card actually. 3 mana, 3/2. It's an elf. When he ETBs, target opponent loses life equal number of elves you control. So it's kind of a cool, like, if you're comboing often an elves list and you have, like, a board that takes up the entire table.
Yeah, you just grab this guy.
Yeah, you green send for him, you nano for him, you just get him into play, and then drain him out. I like him. He's pretty cool.
Plus 3/2.
Yeah, 3/2 for 3, not bad.
Yep.
And he's cheap. They've added more artifacts. Holy shit! I cannot wait to get to this card. Actually, you know what? I've never done this, man. I'm breaking protocol.
Are we doing it?
I'm looking at Ram Roller. 3 mana.
Where is it? Which row?
The third artifact row.
Okay.
Ram Roller.
The art! Oh my god!
Hey,
that's awesome.
Hey, yo, Fish Lizard, I love you.
Love you, man.
But man, Ram Roller. All right.
It's a juggernaut.
3 mana, 2/3 Juggernaut. Tax each turn if able. It gets +2/+0 if you control another artifact. This card's actually good, I think, for like workshop decks, like the workshop aggro decks.
Dude, turn 1, Ram Roller, boosh.
Yeah, Ram Roller, and then you play another artifact, bam, they're done. I actually like this card. Something I didn't think I would say.
It definitely goes actually in like a, this thing for sure goes in like a fast, like artifact, like maybe like an artifact aggro list. That's a nice ad.
Yeah,
the fact you can play it off workshop is wicked.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah,
Actually,
and it's got insane art.
Like, I've played straight up Juggernaut before. I'd play this
Yeah.
guy. Alright, so let's go back
to
the
Helmer
top.
with Archive?
Yeah, the Archive. 5 mana. Legendary artifact. If you would gain life, gain twice that much life instead. Screams Commander. If you would draw a card except for the first one, you draw on each of your draw steps.
Draw 2 instead.
Draw 2 instead. If you draw a card except for the first one. So if you draw a card outside of your draw... I don't like it. I mean, I like it. It's neat effect. It's flavorful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything by itself. Pyromancer's Goggles. This is very commandery, but it's cute. I like it. It's like obviously Chandra's stupid steampunk goggles.
Yeah.
But it costs 5 mana to add a red, and then if you use it on red instants or sorceries, you copy those. That's kind of cool. Hangarback Walker. I've read this guy. He's too fucking expensive. Helm of the Gods is like a worse ethereal armor. Mage Ring Responder. Jesus, the guy looks like he's from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, he's like Shadow the Colossus tier here. So you get a 7 mana 7/7.
Yo, he's like Aladdin's ring and like Colossus of Sardia.
Oh, he's Aladdin's fist.
They've made
Dude, flavor alarm. Oh my god.
Nobody Google Aladdin's fist though. I will say that for your safety. This is a child-friendly program, Adam. Let's get this fucking
it's
straight.
It's the fist from Aladdin's ring. That's what I meant.
No,
yeah.
it's that fist.
Yeah.
So he doesn't untap. He's a 7/7 for 7. You pay 7 to untap him. When he attacks, he deals 7 damage to a creature they control. Flavor-wise, this guy's the bomb.
Yeah.
Love this guy. Orbs of Warding. You have hexproof. If a creature would deal damage to you, prevent one of that damage.
Yuck.
You say yuck. No, this card's pretty bad. It's like a bad Crumbling Sanctuary. Although it does save you from tendrils, which is kind of nice.
Is what's the
There's Witchbane Orb?
Yeah, there's like an enchantment that gives you I think it's Shroud though.
Well, there's Ivory Mask that gives you Shroud.
Yeah,
Leyline of Sanctity gives you hexproof. But like the colorless factor. Don't play this card.
It's overcosted, yeah. It's weird.
Sword of the Animist. I wouldn't play this card. It's 2 mana to play, 2 mana to equip. Legendary. Equip creature gets +1/+1. And whenever they attack, you Rampant Growth. Don't do that. Angel's Tomb's a reprint. Shitty equipment I think it's a reprint. Chief of the Foundry, 3 mana, 2/3. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Again, if you're playing Ram Roller, baby, you're playing Chief of the Foundry.
Boom!
I like that card, actually. Like, sincerely, I think that card... I think the artifact aggro deck is a thing.
It's getting more and more real. Surge tried to play that, or I think he played it a while back, and it was very cool. I'm not sure how well it did, but I think that they're starting to become more and more real, yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of like tinkering with... tinkering with a list kind of around that, and I played that list at the most recent, something similar to this, at the most recent VRD, and if I ever do it again, I'm going to be drafting that guy. But,
right.
Shoutouts to Stefan Bard for stealing my workshop and then beating me in the finals, you fucking jackass, I love you. I like that card. Moving on, Rune Servitor, that's a reprint. This whole entire row, except for Ram Roller, is bunk.
Dude, the tome
but the tome is, tomes obviously gets respect.
Yeah, legendary.
This card I don't like. I'm pretty sure that's a reprint too. Attacks. I don't like this card. This card's also bad. Alchemist Vial. It's an egg, baby. I'd play this in eggs.
Oh yeah, that goes in eggs for sure. Oh baby.
Oh baby, the deck just got god tiered.
It just got better. It just got better.
And the whole other row is shit. Any lands?
Yeah, you get the reprints, I guess.
Ooh, Mage Ring Network. Tap to add a colorless. Storage.
Oh,
okay, so it's a storage... but it's just like a storage land. Okay, no, it's a worse storage land. Because the storage lands you could tap to put a counter on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that card can go fuck itself. And we're into basics. That's been the review for Magic Origins.
Nice.
Myself and Adam Price. This probably took a long time, and we thank you for dealing with both of us throughout the entirety of this. In the future, Adam and I are looking to put together more videos.
That's going to be fun.
Cooler, certainly one's more interesting than this dribble. But, look out for some more deck techs, deck ideas, some brewing perhaps.
Yeah.
Hint.
I think we definitely want to start, doing some serious brewing, because, I think that's the thing the format really, or in my opinion, the thing the format really needs is, I think some, and there's awesome brewers, but I'd like to see more crazy brews.
Yeah, you can jam your kitchen finks all you want, but until you're rocking ram rollers, you're not getting our respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ram roller top tier.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like the video. Feel free to share it amongst your friends, family, and coworkers. And we hope to hear from you in the future. Have a nice day.
Thank you for watching, and if you like that, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more hidden gems, set reviews, deck techs, and much more. Also be sure to follow our Canadian Highlander Facebook page, and check out our newly updated website at canadianhighlander.wordpress.com. Links for our various podcasts will also be included in the description below. Thanks again, and feel free to leave any questions, comments, or concerns, and one of the council members will be sure to answer as best as they can. And remember folks, there can be only one.